This video is proudly sponsored by Gamersgate. Download games anytime, anywhere. Visit Gamersgate.com. Hello everybody, welcome back to Elder Geeks Game Club. This is episode number 26, Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light. My name is Steve Wilkinson, and with me, as always, is Phil Summers. Phil, how are you doing this evening?
Very good. How are you?
Very good.
Very good.
Alright, well that's better than only moderately good. So. And returning to the show after a few episodes off now, we're very happy to have him back. Editor, owner of ElderGeek.com, Mr. Randy Yasenchak. How you doing, Randy?
I'm doing well, and I'm happy to be back, too, sir. You seem to be drinking your enthusiasm coffee this evening.
I am.
And I love it. I really do. I like this side of Steve.
There's the occasional episode starting out where I'm like, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Elder Geeks Game Club. So I'm trying to pick it up a little bit. I have
Welcome to Game Club, fuck my life. And
yeah.
Here we go.
I have my Green Mountain Dark Magic coffee here.
Wow, holy shit.
They are not a sponsor of the show, ladies and gentlemen, but
sounds impressive. I don't even know what it is.
We have that, the cup, the Keurig thing, and that is the
yes, yeah.
the stuff you buy at the supermarket. It's the premium unleaded.
I turned down one of those for a wet vac. My mom
that was a good choice. A wet vac is always good for a guy your age, especially after you just got your. Are you still in the middle of tweaking with your MAME cabinet? Because I'm sure that your shop vac probably came in pretty handy a few times with that.
Oh, well, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong thing. Mine's like for a carpet, like a wet
like a steamer.
Yeah,
like a carpet shampoo.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I should have said that instead. Yeah.
Yeah, those are essential. Yeah.
Yeah. So my mother gave me a choice for Christmas, and I was like, I don't drink enough coffee. So
Gotcha.
yeah, I use it all the time, so it was worth it.
Nice.
Sorry.
But Lara Croft.
Yeah,
Wait,
Lara Croft. Actually,
is this, the coffee and appliance podcast.
Yes. No. But I want to say before we move on to Lara Croft, Randy, it has been a long time since you've been here, and I don't think we ever mention on the. Well, you've mentioned on Outer Speak, you had a child, and you are now a new father. So congratulations. I don't think you ever said that on this
Thanks,
show.
Guys. Thanks.
And also, I was watched the indie movie, or indie game, the movie, and I loved when I heard you talk at about the 15-minute point.
It's
that was
uninterrupted too, and it is very clearly.
Did you know that was? Did you know that was there?
I didn't know that it was actually going to be there. While they were actually making that movie, I was contacted by the people at Indie Game the Movie, and they said, "Hey, we found your interview that you guys did with Edmund and Tommy. Can we use it?" And I said, "Yeah, please feel free." And they were like, "Okay, yeah, we're probably going to use a few snippets of it through it. We'll of course give you a credit at the end of the show, but sadly we can't pay you." And I'm like, I don't care. I'm gonna be in a documentary about video games. Do it.
It was a great spot too, because like it was the beginning of a montage of like podcast and interview clips, and yours is like the one that you hear the most clear, and there's no other interruption. You know what I mean? Like you started off, you say your name. It was cool. The Gav got honorable mention.
He did. he got a little honorable mention, but But no, it was. I heard it too. My wife and I actually watched it, which was funny because she was actually going on this big documentary kick one day, and it was the day that Indie Game the Movie came out, and I was like, "You're on a big documentary kick today." She's like, "Yeah, I'm bored," because she was feeding the baby pretty much all day. I said, "I'm in a documentary." She was like, "What?"
Oh, wow.
So we actually bought it. We watched it, and she actually made us watch that clip like 3 times. But
I pulled it back. I also re-listened because it took me off guard, and it's just like, holy shit, why am I hearing Elder Speak? It was cool. It was neat.
Yeah. I got to admit, like I miss doing those interviews. I used to try to hunt for interviews a lot more often back then, but
that was how we became friends.
That's actually how you and I got to know each other, because I interviewed you for your Schmoozle cartoons.
I was probably actually, if I remember correctly, like a week or 2 before you did that interview with the...
I think you were literally the week before that, because the week before you, I think, was Little Miss Gamer. So I think it went Little Miss Gamer, then you, and then them, and then I can't remember who was after that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought that
That's
was
awesome.
thought that was worth bringing up on the show. I wanted to hear what you had to say about that. Thought it was cool. It was neat.
Yeah, I thought it was really neat and really kind of happy to hear it. So
And a good movie, by the way. It made me want to not replay, but play Super Meat Boy again, give it another shot. And it made me want to buy Fez too, which I wanted to always buy Fez, but I've kind of
now it really kind of makes you want to do it.
yeah. Now I really want to pull the trigger on Fez. The only reason I'm not is because I know I'm in the middle of other games, and I'm trying to just be good about wrapping up games.
Me too.
It's hard. So eventually, one day, I will get Fez. But yeah, it really made me want to get it at that moment. And I already love the shit out of Braid, so that didn't have to.
You didn't have to buy that one.
Yeah. Oh well. All right. I'm sorry. Game Club begins now. Officially begins now. You want me to take away the history, or do you have anything else to add here, Steve? Or
well, I didn't do the usual spiel, but if you're listening at this point, you pretty much know what the podcast is, I hope. And if not, here we go. Go ahead, Phil. Tell us about Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light.
So Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light. This is a weird choice for us because normally we go indie or we go retro, and Lara Croft is freaking Lara Croft. I mean, it's Tomb Raider, so this is probably the most mainstream game that we've done, I believe, right?
One of the most, yeah.
Mainstream within the context of that it's been released in the last couple of years. And
yeah, right.
And
right,
it has a pretty major publisher backing it.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. I mean, I know we've done Symphony of the Night, but, that game is retro. It's old now. And
Right.
So, all right, so Tomb Raider. I mean, so Lara Croft. It's not Tomb
Raider. Yeah, because this does not have Tomb Raider in the title.
Yes, which is what makes it kind of interesting, I guess. It's an isometric 3D co-op action game. So that's a mouthful. But I guess that's the best way to describe it. I'm sure you could twist those words around a little bit and make it flow a little better. But, it's the first spin-off from the mainline Tomb Raider series. So it does not carry the Tomb Raider branding. It's just Lara Croft. But it was still developed by Crystal Dynamics. They've been handling Tomb Raider since, the last 6 years probably. I should have jotted that down. But it was first released on Xbox Live Arcade in 2010. Actually, it's a little older than I thought. For some reason, I thought it was released only a year ago, so I'm just losing track of time. And then it was released a month later on PSN and Steam. And there was an iOS version, which I did not know about until I put this together. That came out in December. I'm sure that's atrocious.
Yeah, I can't even imagine how you would play that on a touchscreen device.
I'm not sure either.
It's probably got the thumb thing.
Yeah, bad virtual crap.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. Online, especially because the game uses every button on the controller, so I don't even know. Yeah. Online co-op was not there from day one. That was actually added later, so it was just local play, co-op. It was really very well received upon release. The 360 version has the highest of all the main versions there. Stands at an 85 on Metacritic. iOS, unsurprisingly, the lowest, but 73, which it's not a train wreck, but I guess the guys reviewing that are,
hard up for.
Yeah.
Well,
those iOS guys.
They drink the Kool-Aid. So,
yeah, exactly. That's how I was trying to say it.
As long as it doesn't electrocute them, it's gonna get at least a 70.
So I mean that's Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light. Nothing too deep there. And I wanted to just. I mean, we know Tomb Raider by this point in time, but I wanted to touch on Tomb Raider as a whole because I felt like I should,
Yeah.
So obviously, Lara Croft first appeared in Tomb Raider in 1996. I can't believe how long ago that was on the PS1.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was. It wasn't the first game starring a female, but it was, obviously the first one to really freaking take off. There's been countless Tomb Raider games since then across nearly every major platform. I believe, if I counted them properly, there are 9 mainline Tomb Raider games.
Wow.
With a 10th in development. I say mainline because, I mean, there were Tomb Raiders for Game Boy Color and shit that don't count, you know what I mean?
But kind of like the main story,
Right.
or not story, because I don't think it has a story that transcends all 9 games, but just kind of like the flagship titles.
Exactly. There were obviously 2 movies with Angelina Jolie as Lara Croft. Came out. What's that?
There was a second one?
There was a second one.
Oh.
I think that was actually called The Cradle of Life, I believe.
Oh, yeah, okay. I forgot about that one. Yep, I'm sorry. Please.
Please, no, trust me. No, everybody forgot about those. But I guess everybody may have forgot about it. But the first movie remains the highest-grossing feature film based on a video game adaptation in the U.S. So I guess it was a success. Apparently enough people thought it. I mean, I guess enough people watched it that they made a second one. But I guess enough people didn't watch the second one to make the third.
Man, I've lost track of Tomb Raider over the years because I know the first and second one I played a lot.
Really?
On both on the PC and on the PlayStation 1. I think it was Tomb Raider 2 was like over a summer and like at my then girlfriend, who's now my wife's house, like sitting around in her living room for like pretty much the whole summer playing like Tomb Raider 2, Twisted Metal 2, and like a Soul Blade, a couple handful of games, or Soul Calibur, I guess, handful of PlayStation 1 games. Tomb Raider 2 sticks out in my head as being like one of the main ones we just spent a lot of time playing.
Cool. PlayStation in and up.
But I've lost track.
90s.
After that, I mean, I vaguely remember when 3 came out, and then to be honest with you, I don't think I could name any of the ones after that.
Yeah. I have a confession. I've never played a Tomb Raider ever until we played this.
Wow.
What?
So and by that rationale, you still have not played a Tomb Raider.
Yeah, and technically I have still not played a Tomb Raider until this day.
Wow. Well, you did play.
You might be a
Uncharted.
terrorist. You know, this is being transmitted across the internet. You're probably being flagged on like CIA watch lists
That's
now
fine.
for
That's
never
fine.
having played a Tomb Raider game and being an American male, aged 21 to 35.
Well, here's the thing with Tomb Raider and me and I. If anyone even gives a shit, Tomb Raider came out at the height of my, console war self, where I sided greatly with the Nintendo 64. Which in retrospect is a pile of shit. But I may have opened up a can of worms there too. 64 probably has like 10 good games. But anyway, yeah. So I never got into it for that reason. But I did eventually cave. That era is when my fanboyness shed away. That's where I broke down. I did get a PlayStation towards around when Final Fantasy VIII came out. But I was very disinterested in Tomb Raider. Like, it just never did anything for me then. So I never played them. I played like a demo and I thought it was bad, of maybe like 2 or 3, one of them, I don't know. And I became interested in it when Crystal Dynamics picked it up. They started developing them. And I always wanted to buy like the one that came out that they did, their first one, I forget what it was. And then they did the Anniversary, which was the remake of the first one.
Okay.
And I remember eyeing that up all the time and wanting to play that, and I just never did. And yeah, I've just never played one. And they actually, one of them, the last one that came out, what's the last mainline one that came out? Do you know, Randy?
Revelations?
Yeah, Revelations.
Oh, okay.
That was free on PS Plus like 2 or 3 months ago.
Why
And I downloaded it, but I never installed it yet. But I do want to play it. So I do have one. It's waiting. It's waiting to be played. So yeah, that is my non-Tomb Raider history.
Well, that's
Yeah.
okay. I mean,
I'm the exact opposite of Phil. Then I'm probably gonna be the biggest. I'm probably gonna be the biggest Tomb Raider fan here because I am a Tomb Raider fan.
That's cool.
And it's not because of some odd prepubescent reason where I think that it's better to play games with women where her ass is in the screen and she's got big tits all the time.
Right.
I think they're awesome games in general. I think that I like games where you climb stuff and explore stuff, and this scratches both of those itches. So
I think that the games got kind of a bad stigma around them because of that character design,
Right.
where people, kind of wrote off the idea that it might be a decent game and just kind of looked at it like that. But
yeah.
For me-
dude, the thing is, it's like we're playing, or I'm playing mentally in my head, an extension of almost like Indiana Jones or whatever itch that Indiana Jones scratches. Lara Croft could be a 65-year-old guy, and he could be a spelunker, and I would still enjoy the games just the same.
Right. For me, like when I tried to play demos of it, like I couldn't get past the grid-based movement of it. Especially at that time when you had Mario 64 and you'd run all over. There was no like restrictions. You know what I mean? So I don't know. At that time, I couldn't get over that hurdle. I think they obviously got rid of that in the Crystal Dynamics ones. But I was gonna say, it's funny you said you like the climbing and the adventure and all that kind of stuff about it, because especially after I wrapped up Uncharted 3, like I felt very kind of like disappointed after Uncharted 3, and that was around the time I downloaded the one off PS Plus, and I was really kind of looking forward to like seeing how Tomb Raider was compared to the experience that Uncharted brought, which is just very linear and scripted. Yeah, so I kind of wanted to be able to compare them, but I just never got a chance to actually install it and play it. But yeah.
So what did you think about Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light? Having not had not having a that point of reference of having played previous Tomb Raider games.
Right, anything to compare it to. I liked it. I'm disappointed because not in the game. This is not the game. I don't think it's the game's fault, but I think I got about halfway through it. And my game like got screwed up. It like didn't want to load anymore. I got like an error message and I couldn't continue. Yeah, so I couldn't finish the game.
You couldn't even start a new game or anything? It was.
I mean, I could have started a new game. Yeah, I could have started a new game, but I was halfway through it, and it was only a few days ago, right? So I mean, it kind of.
Yeah, I didn't expect you to start over. I was just curious if there was something like completely wrong with the game altogether, or if it was just a corrupted game save.
It's possible that I could redo like the last like 2 stages or something like that, because I did load up an older stage and it worked. So maybe I can progress that way, but I was just kind of
that
like...
stinks.
Yeah, because I had just spent like, I don't know, half hour, 40 minutes on the stage that I wrapped up. And yeah, and I got that message and I was like, what the fuck, man?
That's always a game killer for me. I mean, it has to be something like really, really amazing to make me want to be like, okay, now I'm going to go back and redo everything that I lost. Yeah.
Right. I mean, a half hour is a long time, and that was kind of my other thought the thing I didn't like about this game is like, there's I think about like 14. Randy, you can answer this. Is the co-op mode? Does that have like separate stages from the single player? Because I didn't play co-op.
No, you actually. The abilities that Lara Croft actually has in the single player version, they're split up. So Lara has the guns and she has the rope, but she doesn't have a spear to throw at the wall. So one person has spears and the other person has the rope. And so there's a lot of situations where the person with the spear has to throw out spears for Lara to jump on and then throw a rope out for him to like climb up.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's actually I'm surprised you guys didn't do any co-op together.
We actually tried.
Yeah, it was kind of a bad couple of weeks for scheduling game time for me, but yeah, we had intended to do it, but we just never got around to it, so we just had to play it separately.
It is actually a ton of fun because then you're, I don't want to like pop into my turn here because I
go ahead.
To finish out his thoughts, but because they like split up that ability, but they can both attack and everything all at the same time, it kind of creates this Contra / Smash TV, but then it mixes in these moments where you actually need to help each other out to progress through the story, and that's really cool. It's a very organic way, I think, of doing it, and I was happy about it.
No, yeah, that sounds cool. I actually liked those, just using those abilities playing myself. Like I didn't like sometimes you would hit like a wall, you're like, oh, what do I do? And you kind of forget that you can throw that spear and then jump on it. Stuff like that, or make like a little path with the spears. But to go back to my point about the stages, I wish they were just like a little more short. And this is probably just me, I guess you can actually save in mid-stage, so I shouldn't even be complaining. But I kind of like to finish a stage before I turn the game off. It's hard to just quit mid-stage. But I just wish they were a little shorter because I don't know, a half hour to get through a stage to me is kind of a long time. But maybe it's just because I'm like an old man. But I can finish a lot of classic games in like a half hour, a whole game. I don't know. I just wish they were broken up a little more. But that's barely a complaint. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty cool game. I felt like sometimes the camera was pulled out a little too far, and I sit kind of far from my TV, so there was a lot of times where Lara just looked like this little dot running around. But yeah, everything it looked really nice. Like it didn't really have, most times it didn't have the appearance of like a $15 download game.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there were definitely a couple parts. There was one level where you were lowering these things to make a bridge extend across, And I remember being really kind of taken back by the graphics on that level, especially because there were parts where like you would be up really high and it would kind of pull back and you'd be able to see way down through the level all the way down to kind of where your goal was. Yeah. And just the amount of stuff going on was pretty impressive.
Yeah. I mean, all the environmental stuff was really good. As far as like the art kind of has like a mixed like. In the menus, you see pictures of Lara and the guy, and they kind of have like this almost cell-shaded look to them. They have like a thick black line around them, and like, and then when you're playing the game, they just look like regular game models. And then I don't know, and then like sometimes you see like 2D illustrations that are just like semi-realistic. So there's like these three different versions of Lara across the game, and I don't know, that kind of bothered me a little bit. It's like, well, just pick one. I don't know. I mean, that's whatever. It's just an art thing, but. Yeah, I mean, the game was fun. I liked it. It almost kind of reminded me, I don't know why, I got like Bastion vibes a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, it had kind of
than Bastion.
I think it is too, actually, and I was going to say,
yeah.
I think it's actually a much better game than Bastion. I was thinking that myself.
Well, I think the game, what this had going for it, a big part of it for me anyway, over like a game like Bastion is the puzzles.
Right.
You know, really, even though I was playing it single player, they were still pretty challenging, and you had to, like Phil was saying, mix those abilities around using the spear and the rope and stuff like that, and the bombs you leave on the ground. So I think that doing all that stuff and having to solve kind of not overly complicated puzzles, but complicated enough that when you got through them, you felt like, oh wow, all right, I did that, you know.
Right. Yeah, like I like those little puzzle rooms too. There's like
these,
there's like these little huts or whatever with the blue light that shines out of them, or the red light. Yeah, and there's just like a little optional puzzle room. It's like,
and you get like a statue or something like that.
Yeah, you get a statue, some kind of like cool. I like that kind of stuff because it's like if you don't feel like being held up by the puzzles, you don't have to be. But if you do enjoy figuring out a puzzle, you can go dick around this room for 5-10 minutes, and then you get like a cool little reward out of it. I like that kind of stuff. It was neat. So yeah, I really like. I mean, the creature design was a little bland. I didn't really care for any of the bad guys or anything like that. And the music, like, might as well not even be there. Speaking of the music, I thought it was kind of funny when you die and the music kind of just, like, trails off. It's like the worst. It's like the worst death music.
Like a record scratch.
Yeah, like, what? just did not fit the game at all. It's like, okay, all right, whatever.
That took me by surprise the first time it did that. I'm like, did that wait? Something just happened to the sound, and then like it died again a couple minutes later. I'm like, oh, it's doing that on purpose.
Yeah, like like the film came to like this screeching halt, but like you never get this vibe of I'm watching a movie, like I don't.
Yeah, no, that would have been cool if they had gone like completely in that with that motif with like film crackle and stuff on the screen while you're playing, and then like when you die, like the film like melts and rips
like something like that would have worked for like Beautiful Joe, but
right.
But yeah, it was just kind of like weird when it showed up in this. But yeah, I might go back and finish it because I did like it a lot. It took me away. I've been in the middle of trying to get through Catherine finally, and it actually like took me away from Catherine for the last like week and a half. So yeah, I liked it. I'm sure I'll think of more things, negative or positive, as you guys share your opinions. So why don't you guys go ahead?
Do you want to go, Steve, or do you want to go?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, I was kind of like interjecting a little bit there too, Phil, on yours. So, but
no, it's fine.
Yeah, I like the game a lot.
I was enjoying my coffee listening to you guys. I liked the game a lot. In fact, I'm looking at my Steam account right now, and it actually says that I played the game for 18 hours, which actually says a lot for a game that's a downloadable that you can find, if not free. A lot of times you can find it for like $5.
Right.
So, I really did. I enjoyed the game a lot, and in fact, I enjoyed it so much. There's actually additional DLC maps that you can get for it, little challenge rooms I think that you can actually buy for it. And one of the DLC packs that I did buy for it was the Kane, the Legacy of Kane map pack, or not map pack, but character pack. And I kind of only did it because I thought it'd be kind of neat to just play as Raziel, because the Lara Croft character is Raziel, and the I can't remember the larger dude's name. But he's King.
The guy that nobody wants to be.
Yeah, the guy that nobody wants to be. The guy who doesn't have the cool guns, except for I guess he can carry the machine guns and stuff. But the Kane and Raziel pack is actually totally worth getting. Like if you actually do pick up the game, because it's not like it's not just a skin swap on the characters. They got the voice actors from the original games and they added them back in, and they actually created a new story for the events that happen. The same exact events happen, but the story is done through Kane and Raziel's point of view. So I thought that was really kind of cool for just a reskin pack.
That is neat. Yeah.
Especially for getting the old voice actors, because the guy who does Raziel's voice, he's in like everything. If there's ever a voice actor for like a cartoon video game or just public announcer, he's pretty much there all the time. But
I'm gonna look him up. I don't know who he is offhand.
Dude, you will be like, oh my gosh, he's been in everything. He's been in like almost every single Saturday morning cartoon, a ton of video games, and but yeah, I'm going off on a tangent. But I really liked the co-op for it. The co-op, I think the single player version of the game is great, and it's totally worth the asking price for it. But the co-op actually, I think, makes it even better, and especially because I think you can do co-op on screen as well, which is extra good. But the neat part about the co-op is it takes those tense moments of you trying to do the environmental puzzles to like get through the door before the gears grind you to pieces, or to just any of those numbers, the kind of things where there's like a ton of bad guys coming in and you've got somebody dangling off the edge. It adds an extra moment of tension where you're just like yelling to the person you're playing with, like, pull me up, please,
right.
And it's really fun.
Yeah, I wish that I was able that we were able to try out the co-op, because I think it would have brought like a different, like you're saying, a different experience. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, no, I was gonna say you hit the nail right on the head. It is almost a totally different experience, and I can't remember who I bought the game for. Like I bought it and started playing the single player version, and I was like, oh, this is too cool. I need somebody else to play this with, and I think I bought the game for a couple of people just so they would play it with me.
Wow. How nice.
But I did it on Steam, and the WASD keys with a mouse and keyboard, they're functional, but if you have a 360 controller that you can plug into your PC, it's a lot better, because then you can use your twin sticks. But it's not bad using the WASD keys. It's just better with the controller.
Yeah. Oh, you talking about the control reminded me of the platforming. Some of the platforming kind of sucked. It's just, that perspective with that kind, you know what I mean, with that kind of, never really works well.
I know exactly what you're talking about. There were a couple times where there was like there would be a whole floor full of spikes, and you would have to kind of run in a pattern if you wanted to get through or whatever, and it just felt like I was kind of fighting the angle I was looking at it from, and I would just barely graze the spikes, and then you'd be dead, because they kill you in one shot. So
and it's hard to judge, like, distance on jumps and that kind of thing. Yeah, so.
But it wasn't like game breaking or anything like that. No, it definitely.
Oh, you know what else I liked? I'm sorry. Was I like how, a lot of games do this now, where they have, not only there are trophies or achievements, but there's like the in-game achievements as well per stage. So they call them challenges or whatever. And I kind of liked when you would get to a point in a stage, and it was like, you can do this now, and. Like the one, speaking of just what reminded me of it, speaking of the jumping, the one was like, jump on these 6 pots without hitting the ground. And then, you know what? And like I saw the little thing pop up on the screen. I was like, well, shit, yeah, I'm going to jump on these 6 pots. And then, I spent like 5 minutes trying to make these freaking jumps to get over these pots. And then, you win your little prize. And I just liked how they worked that into the game, and how it was enough to make me stop what I was doing and, try the challenge. It was fun.
Yeah, they didn't feel like super tacky or like artificially put into the experience. They weren't like, oh, congratulations, you found your shoes. Here's
right, exactly. Yeah, it was just kind of like, if you want to do this, give it a shot. And I like how it because a lot of games, they have these, these achievements. Like, you either have to look at some kind of menu later and be like, okay, I'm gonna go back and try that, and you kind of like plan to go back and do that if you're into that. But in this, it just kind of popped up and reminded you, okay, yeah, you can do this at this point in time. And I thought that was cool.
And it actually rewarded you with things in the game, which was nice too. The fact that you would get like an ammo upgrade or something like that.
Right, some extra health.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was pretty cool. Yeah, I thought I was really impressed with that too. When I first noticed that would happen as you would go through a level, I thought that was a nice feature.
I really only have one other thing to kind of round out my thoughts about the game, because if you can't tell by me talking about it, I really liked it. I have very few negative points to say about it. I think if anybody is remotely curious about it, I think they should get out there, buy it, or if they have PlayStation Plus, if it's still free, then to try it on there. Mm-hmm. But I'm really impressed by the fact that they took a series, an established series like Lara Croft, and they actually translated it over to an almost entirely different kind of game from a completely different perspective, and they actually successfully made it feel like it was part of the series, and that I liked. The concept of this gameplay, like the twin stick shooter / puzzles, aside from the puzzles, it's really different than a standard Lara Croft experience, and I don't know if the Lara Croft name helped it or hindered the actual sales for this. Because I'm thinking, like, if they just put in 2 other adventurers into the game, like a guy and a girl of any type, I think that the game would have been still successful because of how fun it is.
Yeah, I wondered about that when I was playing it, and I didn't do any of the homework really on the history of the game, but I was wondering as I was playing it if it had been... Like, I wondered if it had been something else. And then at some point,
they put Lara Croft into it.
Yeah, at some point they were like, well, we're going to launch a brand new IP. We can't really do that. And maybe we need to. And this is pure speculation. I have no idea. But I just wondered, because that stuff happens. You hear stories about that. Like, wasn't I think Super Mario Brothers 2 was originally not even a Super Mario Brothers game. They changed it and made it that because they did. Well, for whatever reason. But my point being is that that's not an unheard of thing. And as I was playing this, I was kind of wondering at what point, if it was always a Lara Croft game, or if it was just something where they decided they needed to have some sort of flagship character attached to it.
Yeah, I don't know. But like I said, I think either way it works really well. And my final thought on this is, I think this is such a good co-op game, and currently there is a massive void of decent co-op games anymore. And I mean good co-op games, and this is probably one of the last great ones that I kind of have to tip my hat to it for that.
I like that it was designed as local co-op too.
Mm-hmm. Yes. None of this split screen crap.
Right, exactly. I thought that I didn't know that it was it came out as only local until I did the history stuff tonight. But when I was playing it, I almost called my wife down and be like, "You want to play Tomb Raider with me for a little bit?" But I'm sure she would have.
It's a good game to play with your wife. I actually played with mine.
Did it really?
Yeah.
See, well, Dan probably would have got mad at me somehow. I don't know. So that was why I decided. I was like, whatever, I'm just going to play. But, yeah. So, Steve, I'm sorry. You were...
No, it's fine. I mean, I've kind of been just sprinkling my thoughts in with your guys. So, I enjoyed the game quite a bit. I thought it was a really good game. I don't really know what else to say about it. It was a lot of fun. I played it single player, obviously, like we've already said, so I didn't quite get the co-op experience. But even as a single player game, I thought it was really good. It's like just one of those kind of cool games. And you mentioned the length of the levels, but the fact that it does do the autosave and you can pick it up and you're pretty much right where within like a minute or two of where you had left off. Right. Makes it a kind of a nice game to just kind of sit down and pop on, even if it's only for like 15 minutes. And the fact that it was free, I mean, I realized that was kind of a rare thing for PlayStation Plus members to get them free, so it's not like it was for everybody. So, but that right there just added a whole layer of enjoyment for me, because I was like, I like getting free shit. So,
yeah. It's the only of all the free PS Plus games that were there, I was like the one I really wanted to get. I also downloaded a Virtual Fighter. I played it for like 5 seconds. I guess I'm just not a Virtual Fighter person, but yeah, of all the games, it's the one I played and like, that means nothing. But
it makes me wonder. It makes me. I have not thought about the Tomb Raider franchise in a while, even with the new game that's kind of on the horizon and everything, and all the controversy and news about that in the last month. Right. Even that really didn't get me interested in Tomb Raider again, to be honest with you. And I'm sure there's some people who are gonna not like that I said that, but I'm sorry, it's just the truth. The new game didn't really get me interested at all. This,
Right.
on the other hand, did get me interested, to be honest with you. It kind of made me wonder what they've been doing with all these other 7 games since the last time I played an official Tomb Raider title. So, yeah, it makes me kind of want to check them out and see
I do believe, well, I'll tell you later, but you should check them out.
I hear Reddy frantically typing.
That was me like saying, no, dummy, don't say that out loud. Tell him later.
So yeah, this game is pretty cool. Yeah, the music, I aside from that weird thing where it would like, aside from that, I barely ever noticed the music. So it's just kind of there.
Yeah.
I thought the boss fights and stuff were kind of neat that they had them in there too. Like the one with the big Tyrannosaurus Rex and you had to run around and hit the floor panels.
Right.
That was kind of, they had it wasn't just you run in a circle and shoot him with your gun until he's dead. You actually had to do some thinking, and they were kind of puzzles in their own way, which was nice. It looks like a lot of hard work went into this game. It's definitely a lot more polished than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And like I said, the environments I really liked. I mean, for just being a game where you're basically running through crypts and stuff, it has the potential to be very, kind of boring looking. But they did a nice job really kind of mixing it up a bit. Very cool game. If you have PlayStation Plus, there's no reason not to go download this right now. And even if you don't, I think it's a great game. And
it's always one of those ones during the Steam sale where it's like $3.50.
They're like, now $2.
Right. Yeah. So they just hand this one out. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's coming up soon. God have mercy on our souls.
I know, right?
What do they have? The summer one? Does that happen soon?
That's coming out next week.
Last week.
Next week. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Buckle up.
And if not, there is if you're looking at it on PC, its normal price is $14.99. But even if you're just kind of curious about it, the demo is pretty sizable. So there's even a demo to check it out.
Cool. Very cool. So is that our thoughts on Lara Croft? Pretty much. Yeah. So we all give it a recommended.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's worth checking out. Even these 2 years later.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look, looks like a game that could have come out a couple weeks ago. It's not, it doesn't look dated or anything.
And actually putting it into that perspective of 2 years ago, download titles they've come a long way since, 2 years ago. And I believe that was probably, at that time, that was probably a very high caliber release compared to a lot of the other stuff that was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. At least I think so, off the top of my head. I mean, I can't really.
We did get some feedback from the community, which I will read, as promised. So Nate, via the Elder Geek Facebook, said, I played it a bit last night and mostly had fun. Playing co-op was a blast, and I appreciated the puzzles that focused on teamwork. Combat is decent, and there seems to be a good amount of unlockable weapons. The flamethrower is awesome, but probably a bit broken due to its power.
I kind of disagree with that, because it seems like on some of
the ammo on that one too.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You burned through that bar pretty fast.
And it seems like it was only really useful on like the smaller creatures, because when I was using it on like the bigger guys, it was just worthless, I felt like. So.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's okay. He said, unfortunately, I don't know if it's due to netcode or if it's a bigger problem, but the game is really glitchy. We had to restart several missions because the game broke at certain points. Despite this, I'll probably go back and at least finish the game. So.
No, and I didn't know. We don't know what version he was playing either. So.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. And then I'll just combine these two. This is from Phantom Spiker and Dante, two longtime listeners and community contributors for the show. Said, we played co-op about a year ago, and we both enjoyed what we played of it. The game looked pretty decent, and puzzles were kind of interesting. My fondest memory of the game is blowing Dante up all the time and making lewd comments about Lara's ass. That's great. That's great. After we just got done saying that that's not what the games are all about. Thank you. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. There you go. To be honest, the game really isn't that memorable. Messing around with Dante over Steam's voice chat is what made it fun, I think. So yeah, they did a good job by making it co-op, and Dante added on. Yeah, I don't remember much besides killing Spiker a lot, and that it played like butt with mouse keyboard.
Yeah. See, it did. It played like butt. And now that I'm thinking back on it, I think everybody that I played co-op with, they all played it with 360 controllers plugged into their PCs.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine playing this game on with mouse and keyboard. It would seem probably pretty frustrating.
Yeah.
Pretty buttly.
Pretty much.
Yes,
Very much butts.
very much butts.
Yep. So yeah, I guess that about does it. I almost called it Tomb Raider. Jesus Christ. Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light. And I guess, well, let's talk about what we're playing next time on the Game Club. I'm very excited about this one. We are going to be playing Quantum Conundrum for the next episode. Just came out. Was it today?
I think so.
Today? Is that what we? Yeah, today or yeah, I believe it was today. So yeah, brand new game from the minds that brought you Portal, one of my favorites. So please check it out. I mean, this game is brand new. It's a pretty high-profile game. I imagine a lot of people are going to be playing it and checking it out. Please leave us some feedback if you enjoy it or if you don't enjoy it. We will read it on the show. We would appreciate it very much.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I never even played Portal 2 yet. I have that. No, I know.
That hurts. That hurts me in the heart.
I have it. I want to play it. Well, I was, when I downloaded it, I thought I was going to get a new computer not much longer afterward, and I was kind of trying to save it, and then I never got a new computer, so I'm just going to have to suck it up and play it.
Steve and I are just going to have to build you a computer. We're just going to have to take our old computers and then just build you a Franken computer just for you to have.
I probably have enough parts like I have about 4 boxes, motherboard boxes, just filled with parts. We could put something together.
Yeah, I think I even have an extra monitor now.
Holy smokes. Yeah, you got that beast.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So, yeah, we'll wrap up the show. If you guys are listening, we would really appreciate it if you'd leave us some reviews on iTunes or Zunes. Give us some ratings. Click on those little stars on there. It helps us out. Gets us a little more exposure. The more reviews and feedback we get, the more we show up on the store for people who maybe have never heard of the show. So, help us out. We would greatly appreciate it. And as always, you can check us out on OuterGeek.com. Follow OuterGeek on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch TV. Lots of great stuff going on over there all the time. Video reviews, Elder Speak daily shows. The guys have a new show too, right?
Do we?
Yeah.
Oh, the live one. The live one, you mean, right?
Oh, yeah. On our Twitch channel,
Yes.
Trevor started doing Two Button Panic, which is a really cool throwback show.
Yeah. So be sure to check them out as well. Very good stuff.
Excellent. All
Yeah.
right. So Quantum
all I have to
Conundrum,
say about
2
that.
weeks.
Yes, Quantum Conundrum. Play it. And we will be soliciting you for feedback through various channels.
Yes. You better
Please
have
look
it.
forward.
You better
Please
have
look
it.
forward to it.
All right, guys.
All right. Well, for myself, Steve, and Phil, and Randy, thank you very much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Yep. See you guys. Thank you.
Take care.